Alright guys, we are going to start on lesson 3 of social studies. So if you want to open your textbook to page 102, we're going to be looking at our country's regions. Regions are different parts of different places. Right now we're looking at different parts of the United States. The United States is our country. So geographers sometimes divide countries into states and states into regions. A region is an area with at least one feature that makes it different from other areas. The parts of a region may share many features such as location, landforms, culture, or economy. So that's where we get the idea of regions from, just to give you some background. So the United States is often divided into 5 large regions. These regions are the Northeast, the Southeast, the Midwest, the Southwest, and the West. So as you can kind of tell, it goes along with our cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, that we've talked about. The states in each region share a relative location in the country. So the countries that all belong to the Northeast all have something similar. Countries that belong to the Southeast all have something similar. Same for the Midwest, the Southwest, and the West. They all have similar characteristics that they can be grouped together. And based on where they are in the U.S., north, south, east, or west, determines which region they're called. Okay? So if you look at page 103, okay, now page 103, I know it's backwards, but if you look at it, this map is color-coded with the different regions. So each color is a different region. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so start with the Northeast. So all of these states in pink are the Northeast. So everywhere from Pennsylvania up to Maine. Okay, then the Southeast is this nice large orange section. So which section do we belong to? We're in the Southeast. We're in the South, but we're also on the east side of the United States. Remember, this is west, this is east. We're on the East Coast, and we're in the South, so we're part of the Southeast. Then you have yellow here is the Midwest, so right in the middle of the U.S., right? And towards the west are these states of the Midwest, from Ohio over to things like North and South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. Then you have the green, which is the Southwest. Okay, remember, just like this is the Southeast, this is going to be the Southwest. South section of the United States, and on the western side of the United States. Then you have this in purple, which is just considered the West. You got a little bit of California, which is down here in the southern part, but that's a large state. And then you have the upper part of the U.S., which goes all the way to Montana and Washington. So all of purple is going to be the West. Now, the things that group them together are things that make them very similar. So like all the Northeast has super cold winters, lots of snow, mild summers. They get 60, 70 degree summers, which for us aren't that bad, right? But for us, because we're further south, we get warmer summers and not so bad winters. We can, but not too bad. Okay, so everything, all the states that are in all the different colors have something in common, which is why they're grouped together into their regions. Okay, so turn to page 104. Geographers can study a region based on any of its features. The features of a region include its culture and economics. So South Carolina is in the southeastern region of the U.S., but you can also take South Carolina and it can also be divided in separate regions. And I meant to post the picture of the South Carolina regions. I will do that right after this video to help you see that there are different regions in South Carolina. You have in the upper portion near Greenville and Spartanburg, there's some mountains. You won't find that down on the coastal region where it's all coast and beaches and sand, right? And then where we live in the Midlands, it's kind of flat. It still has a lot of sand, not like the coastal regions, but so we can take a whole country like the US and break it down into regions, but we can also take a simple state that's part of the US and break it down into regions. So I'll show you that as well. So a community can be part of more than one kind of region. Lexington, Kentucky is part of the southeast region of the United States. So if you look at that map right here, okay, this is all the states in the southeast region, and that orange one is Kentucky. But then you can zoom into that state, and so here's Kentucky enlarged. Lexington is a section of Kentucky, okay? So they've taken that region. So there's something in Lexington that clumps it all together inside of Kentucky. Lexington is also closely connected with Appalachia. Remember we talked about the Appalachian Mountains. It runs from the very, very tip of South Carolina up through North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and even parts of Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, that kind of thing. Okay. So in the past, the people of Appalachia were separated from the rest of the United States by the Appalachian Mountains. They developed their own culture, which includes music and storytelling. Today, the people of Lexington work to preserve or save Appalachian culture. So that term preserve means to save. If you wanted to save something. So food, you might preserve it or save it by sticking it in the refrigerator. Ice cream, if you left it on the counter, it would all melt and it would then get hot and it would sour and it would taste really bad, right? So you save it, you preserve it by not only eating it little at a time, right? But you preserve it and save it by keeping it in the freezer, pulling it out when you need it, putting it back. Well, we do that with history and culture and stories and all kinds of things by saving it. That's how we preserve it. That's how we know what we're talking about, because we preserved information in textbooks and in storybooks, and then we pass it down. So that's how you learn about things as well. Think about if we just threw everything away. If we had something happen and we just ignored it and threw it away and never talked about it again, right? It wouldn't be saved. We wouldn't know about it. So we have the larger regions, like the U.S., the 5 regions in the U.S. You can break it down to take, like, state of South Carolina and break it down into regions. And each section of South Carolina is grouped together because it has something alike. So what you have in the upper part of South Carolina, you won't find in the lower part. You won't find beaches and lots of sand up near Greenville and Spartanburg area of South Carolina. So after you watch this, take a look at that map, and that I'll post after this, and that will help explain regions to you. Okay, so this sheet right here in your social studies packet, lesson 3, our country's regions. Okay, it's a map of the U.S., and again, you have to use your key, right, to find the different sections. So northeast has like little scattered dots. Okay, the southeast has the stripes. The Midwest is all dark. The Southwest has little teeny tiny dots, and in the West, all the dots are slanted. Okay, so you have the 5 regions of of the United States. Okay, so then it's asking you to use this map to determine where certain states are. So New Mexico is in the blank region. So here you have New Mexico, right? So then you go to your key. We're going to look at New Mexico. It has lots of little teeny tiny dots. So we're going to go up here and find little teeny tiny dots. And that means it's going to be in the southwest, right? It's in the southern part of the U.S. and it's towards the west. So it's in the southwest. So you're just going to answer these 5 questions, practicing using this map to find states and different regions of the United States. Okay? So have any questions, let me know.